Hello, this is Chantalie Eggerson, and this is Spring Into Your Purpose 4-part life coaching series. And I'm really glad that you decided to join me today. I hope you join me for all parts of this series. So, this is Spring Into Your Purpose with Ogun and Tarot, because I'm going to tell you about how Ogun relates to spring and your purpose. And in the end, I'm going to be doing a tarot reading to so we can get a better understanding of how you can spring into your purpose. This reading will be for whoever watches this video in the future. Okay, so this coaching series is for you if you want to connect or reconnect with your purpose. If you want to focus more on physical self care, and if you want a better understanding of who you are. So, why should you listen to me? You should listen to me because I've had a long road with figuring out my purpose, wanting to understand my purpose. Um, so what happened is basically I always wanted to understand what was wrong with me and who I really was. And through a lot of trials, a lot of challenges, a lot of humiliation, I finally realized who I was, and um it took me learning about ADD and learning about abuse and depression and learning about anxiety before I got here. What really triggered me understanding what my purpose was learning about indigo children, really. Because I went from learning about ADD, which really answered a lot of questions for me, to then learning about the connection between indigo children and ADD. And then I started understanding that the things that I thought were wrong with me were leading me to understand what was right with me, how I could help myself, and how I could help the world through using spiritual gifts. And then I just started working on developing my spiritual gifts. And then there was a whole struggle with that. And sometimes you have to fight for your purpose. Everybody is not going to understand your purpose. Everybody's not going to understand why you're doing what you're doing. Everybody's not going to understand where you're coming from. But if you know that you're doing what you've been put on this earth to do, if you know you're doing what is in your heart to do, then you have to do that no matter what. And the people that might resist you walking in your purpose might not always be trying to harm you. But you just have to know what your purpose is, and you have to know what your goal is, and be unshakable in that. And so there was some setbacks with me trying to develop my purpose and trying to walk in my purpose, and then people resisting that around me. So that did cause me to have some setbacks, but it also caused me to come back even stronger, knowing that no, this is what I'm supposed to do, and that I have to do this no matter what. And so that's basically why you should listen to me, because I had to learn my purpose, and I've had to struggle with accepting it, struggle with people around me resisting it, struggle with just a lot of things. But I'm here, and it was all worth it. And so now I'm here to help you understand what your purpose is. Um, and so that's why you should listen to me. So I want to tell you a little about what I'm going to do today and what I'm going to be doing for the next 4 days, because this is a 4-part series. So today I'm going to tell you a little about Ogun, the Orisha that represents the spring and Mars and Aries. So we're going to talk about him. Then I'm going to tell you about the spread that I created to do your reading. Then we're going to go ahead and jump into the reading. And then that'll be that. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So today is how to spring into your purpose. So we're just going to become more aware of what our purpose is today, get a better understanding of it. And then tomorrow, not tomorrow, but the second day, day 2, you'll get a better understanding of what could be blocking your path to purpose, how you can clear the way to anything that's blocking your path to purpose, because that's what Ogun did. He cleared the path. He cleared the way. Okay? So the second part, no, that's the third part is how we're going to set purpose-driven goals. It's not enough to really understand what your purpose is and then don't do anything with it. You have to start taking action and actually start living and walking in your purpose. So we're going to set goals to make sure that we're continuing to walk in our purpose. And on the fourth part, we're going to review the goals that we set, the things that we did to carry out those goals, and then we might do some adjustments, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up this series. And I really pray that it's helpful to everyone. So let's go ahead right ahead. Okay. So, who is Ogun? Ogun is the Orisha who powerfully creates a path forward. Okay? He is the Orisha that is all about power and courage and just being strong and having divine energy. And he rules the planet Mars. So a lot of the qualities of Mars are in Ogun. You can see them in Ogun. And when you see the stories, when you read the stories and hear the stories of Ogun, then you can start relating them to the meanings, the astrological meanings of Mars. So he courageously and powerfully creates a path forward. He rules Aries, and Mars rules the sign Aries. So obviously, Ogun rules Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Okay, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and he starts spring. So around spring, things start to change. Around spring, things are growing, and Ogun represents growth because he represents the blood that we have in our body, and what makes things in our bodies grow, the divine energy, the divine life force that causes things in our body and in the earth to grow. Okay, like your hair and like your nails and like the grass, like trees, it's really beautiful. So that is Ogun, the life force energy that causes things to grow. So there's a lot of newness that comes with Ogun because he was the first Orisha to come to planet Earth and create and form the land, the first one. There was Olokun was already here, but Olokun was water. And Obatala was already here, but he created people. He shaped people's bodies. But Ogun shaped the land. Okay, he was the first one to shape the land. And so that's why the planet Mars represents land. It represents the land. Okay. So, okay, I already talked about how he was the first one in the house. Okay, so he also rules the root chakra. Okay, and the root chakra is called the Muladhara, and it's all about survival and material things because it's about being grounded. The root chakra is all about like material things and sex and just the material things of this world. That is the root chakra. Okay, that's where we get our power. He rules the Tower card in tarot. Okay, so here is where, if you understand tarot, if you want to get to know tarot, this is where you can see the astrological connections of Mars to Scorpio and also to the south node of the moon, K2. Okay, so the Tower card, and the keywords for the Tower card upright is sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, and awakening. Okay, so sudden changes, who does that sound like? Okay, well, it sounds like Mars because Mars moves fast. Mars moves very, very fast. He likes to, Ogun likes to get things done. He's very serious. He's very focused. He has a job to do, and that's what he's going to do. Okay. But that also sounds like Scorpio. Okay. Now, Scorpio is really represented by the Orisha Oya, who was actually married to Ogun. So Scorpio is ruled by Mars, which is Ogun, and ruled by K2, which is represented by the Yoruba Orisha Oshumare. Okay. Now, this is very interesting to me because Oshumare is I've heard a lot of Vedic astrologers say that K2 is the shadow side of Mars. So K2 acts a lot like Mars. And Scorpio is ruled by Mars and K2. So it's like a cyclical connection to me. Okay. So we're talking about sudden changes, and that is true for all three signs, all three planets. Sudden changes. Mars likes to move quick. With Scorpio, there can be a lot of ups and downs. Is also Oya. She rules and she represents tornadoes. So that sudden changes, really fast movements, and also K2, which is represented by the Orisha Oshumare. There's always sudden changes, things being taken away from you very quickly, so you can understand that you didn't need material things. You actually need to have a connection with God. You need to experience moksha. You need to elevate and not be so attached to material things, because they could leave you in an instant, and then what do you have left? So Oshumare is really trying to take you away from just the root chakra, just the base material needs of what Mars is all about. K2, Oshumare, is trying to take you up to get a better understanding. So Oya is those two orishas in one to me. So that's the awakening part. The awakening part of the Tower card is K2 to me. Okay, so reverse is personal transformation, which is Scorpio, which is Oya. Fear of change, that's also Oya. And averting disaster. Okay, so that's the Tower card, and that's the card that is ruled by Mars, and which is ruled by Ogun. Okay, so now we're looking at runes to get a better understanding of Ogun. So it's two runes that are ruled by Mars that I know of, and one is Fehu, and that represents wealth, which is a material thing. Mobile property, that's land, but it's no, mobile property, that's let me see, what could that be? That I don't really understand the connection there, so we'll move on. So luck, new beginnings, and that will be Aries. Initial conditions. Okay, that sounds like the story that I told you before when Ogun came down and he created land. He created a path forward for humanity. There was nothing formed here on land before he came. He came and created the mountains. He came and created the landscapes. He created everything that you see. Ogun's supposed to be able to. He was the one who created it, according to this, according to the stories. Okay, so he ruled the rune Algiz, and that represents protection, higher self, divinity, teaching, and spiritual connection. Okay, protection. That's another thing that Ogun is. Ogun represents protection. There's also a connection to the planet Mars and the Archangel Michael. And the Archangel Michael is here to protect us. And so that's the connection between Mars and this rune Algiz and the Orisha Ogun. Okay. So that being said, I believe I said everything I need to say about Ogun. So we're just going to go into spring into your purpose. Okay. So I already prayed and did everything, but I'm just going to go ahead and pray real quick before I do this. So, Heavenly Father, please help me do this. Please be with me while I do this. Heavenly Father, please be with me. Help me do this for the people who will watch this video in the future. For the people who will watch this video in the future. Please let it be healing. Please let it be accurate. Please let it be transformational. Let me be a vessel. Move me out of the way. Help me be humble. Okay. All right. So I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing while I'm doing it. So what is the best way for me to spring into my purpose? Real quick, I didn't really tell you about the first house. The first house represents your purpose. It's one of 3 houses, actually, that represents your purpose on this earth. So the sign that you have in your first house will tell you a whole lot about why you are here and who you are. The sign in your first house will tell you a lot about who you are and your purpose on this earth. Okay? So that is the house that Ogun rules. That is so we're going to go ahead and see, for people who are going to be watching this video in the future, what is the best way for them to spring into their purpose. Okay, I got the full card, and the full card talks about new beginnings and spontaneity and being a free spirit. So this is definitely a new beginning for a lot of us. Just being in the spring. Okay, just being in the spring. So this is a new beginning. So we're going to clarify this with 3 cards. Please clarify. If you want a makeover, well, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but if you want a makeover, a good time to do it is in the spring, because the spring is all about new beginnings. Please clarify the full card reverse. No, it's not reverse. Please clarify full card. Okay, now I have the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands represents celebration and homecoming. And I love the connection with the Four of Wands being ruled by, I think it's Aries and Venus. And it's a story that I heard about. It's a story that I heard about Ogun and Venus, where, Ogun worked really hard. He created civilization, and things got to a point where the people didn't really respect him. They didn't cherish him. They were taking him for granted. They didn't appreciate everything that he did for civilization. So he just left. He left and he went away, and nobody could get him to come back home. Okay, no one could get him to come back home. And the only person who could get him to come back was Oshun. And and the four of wands being representing homecoming and celebration. When Ogun came back, there was a celebration and there was a homecoming, and they showed him that they did really appreciate him. So the four, the fourth zodiac sign, the fourth house, is ruled by Cancer, and that represents home. And so I love the Four of Wands and that story. So to me, you have a new beginning. Whoever is watching this, you have a new beginning, and it has something to do with you coming home. It might be coming home to yourself. It might be a new beginning where you're finally understanding who you are and accepting that. But we're going to keep clarifying. So please clarify the Fool. Please clarify the Fool. Please clarify the Fool. Okay, now I have the Three of Cups reversed. And this talks about downtime and needing independence, needing to be alone. Three is a crowd. So this might have something to do with you having a new beginning, um, having a new beginning and understanding who you are again. There could have been some type of cheating. And this why you want to start a new beginning. There could be someone infidelity, and that's why you're like, no, I need to find me again. I'm not gonna let somebody drag me down like this. I gotta let this go. and really get back to me. And that's what it could be. But it could also be you just wanting to do things on your own, because that's Ogun. He most of the time you see him, okay, he's doing things on his own. He's very singular. And I say this because if you think about the difference between Aries and the opposite sign Libra, Aries is all about I am. But Libra, the opposite sign, is all about we are. So you might just want to do things alone right now. Not in a way where you're like have an attitude like I just do it myself. Like not, I don't feel like it's that type of attitude, but it's more like I just want to do something on my own. I just want to be on my own. I just want to, start this project on my own. I just want to do it myself. Type of energy I'm getting from this. So we're going to keep clarifying. Please clarify the Fool. Please clarify the Fool. Okay, what I have now is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords, it also represents independence. And this Queen of Swords, she's very clear about what she wants. She's very clear about what she needs to cut out of her life and what she needs to do to move forward. She's unbiased, and she also represents judgment. You see the sword like Libra, so she also represents judgment. And so to me, what it looks like is you want to start a new beginning. You want to step out on faith doing something. You want to get back to understanding who you are. You want to be somewhere where you're celebrated, and you don't want to be somewhere where people are possibly cheating on you and not respecting you, not appreciating you, and you want to leave all that. You just want to be by yourself. You want to cut the bull crap out, and you just want to stay focused and get focused on what you really want in life. Okay, so that's what I'm getting from that. The next topic we're gonna go over with the cards is, let me get back to my slides, is how can I use physical self-care to help me spring into my purpose? Okay. So what I mean when I say that is, how can I use physical self-care to help me spring into my purpose? Well, the first house within the in your birth chart, the first house that Ogun rules is it represents your head and it represents your body. So like I said, it when you want a makeover, you want to focus on this time. You want to focus on Aries season, or when the moon is in Aries or whatever. You want to focus on Aries. When you want to a new beginning in your physical appearance, you want to do that around this time, because that's the energy of newness and creating. He created structures, he created land, he represents your body. So we're talking about restructuring your body. This is the best time to do this. Okay, so when I'm talking about physical self-care, I'm talking about your hair, I'm talking about your makeup, I'm talking about your body, I'm talking about your your appearance in general. So that also includes your wardrobe. Well, that's Venus and the moon represent clothes, but we're talking about your overall appearance. So you these are the things where we're talking about: your health, your body, your just things that are represented physically. Okay, so that's physical self-care. So we're going to focus on how can we use and what's um I'm getting excited, so I need to slow down. But what I like about the first house is that you can make two connections. Whatever we need to do in this earth, God already gave us everything to fulfill our purpose. Um, he already gave us the body that we need to fulfill our purpose. It doesn't matter what you think is wrong with your body. I don't care if you're disabled. I don't care if you're overweight. I don't care if you think you're too slim. I don't care if you think something is shaped wrong. Your first house is about purpose. So you were given the body that you needed to have to fulfill your purpose in this life. Because the first house, the house that Ogun rules, represents your life, your whole entire life. So let's pull some cards and see what we need to, how can we use our physical self-care to help us with our purpose. And also it represents health and endurance. And unless you have health and endurance and energy, is also something it represents, then you are not going to have what it takes to take action on a lot of things. So here we go. Okay, so what I have is the Queen of Wands for how can you use your physical self-care um to help you with your purpose. And so this represents determination and courage and confidence. And to me, this is saying, maybe I'm talking to me. Well, hopefully I'm talking to you too. And whatever you need to do with your physical self-care that's going to give you confidence and give you courage, that's what you need to do. Um, whether it's getting your body the way that you want it to be more confident, or whether it's, changing your hair, or like whatever it is. It could be anything. But whatever it is, in order to get that confidence and that courage that you want, you're going to have to be determined. You're going to have to stay focused and keep focused and not be distracted by anything that might try to get in your way. Ogun was constantly working. He was constantly working. He's always active, very active, always moving, always determined to keep going. So that's what you need to do. And you know how we say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make these changes, and, I'm going to go on this diet. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to keep my hair done. I'm going to keep my makeup done. And then we get lazy, you know. So I think that's what the Queen of Wands is trying to tell us right now that we have to be determined. Don't just say, I'm going to make these changes and then don't do it. Because we need to be, in order to move around in this world and function the way we need to, we have to have confidence. We have to have courage. And if something's going on with you that's keeping you from having that confidence and that courage, then we need to be determined to change that, okay? So we're going to clarify with three more. Please clarify the Queen of Wands. Okay, now this is what I have to clarify. The Queen of Wands is the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords is talks about fears and nightmares and anxiety. It's just fears that are unrealistic are represented by this card to me. Just having worries that we don't need to worry about, being afraid of things we don't need to be afraid of. Um, and to me, new beginnings, a lot of the times they're exciting, but they're also scary, because you're doing something that you haven't done before. And it's just new, so it's exciting, but it's exciting because it's scary, something like that. But Saturn rules the Nine of Swords, and so to me it's like a tug of war with Mars wanting to go fast. Mars represents like a young man, and he has all this energy and he wants to go fast and he wants to get things done. But Saturn represents an older man. Saturn represents an older man who's been through some things, and he has a lot of things that he has to deal with, and he just doesn't want to go that fast. He wants to go slow. And Mars is going fast, fast, fast. It has all this energy, and Saturn is like, slow down. This is scaring me. You scaring me. You're going too fast. Okay, so basically, that might be what you're experiencing in some way, where you want to be determined and make changes that's going to help you be more confident, but you also have some fears and worries about it. So, we're going to keep clarifying. Okay, I got the Devil card. And the devil represents addictions, things we're attached to, um, things we're addicted to, things we're attached to, toxic people. So that's Saturn represented twice. So Saturn represents the Nine of Swords, but Capricorn is the devil card, and that's also ruled by Saturn. So you might feel like you have a lot of restrictions when it comes to being determined to make the changes that you want to make. You might feel like you have a lot of challenges, a lot of limitations things you might be addicted to, like drugs. It could be drugs, it could be alcohol. Those are the things we think about automatically. It could be that, but it could also be things like food. It could also be things like the internet. It could also be things like, like I said, toxic people, like friends or family members or co-workers or people that we're in relationships with. It could also be a way of thinking. It could also be a way of thinking that we need to change, that we're addicted to, that's toxic. So that's something to think about. Okay, we're going to keep going. Please clarify. The Queen of Wands. Please clarify. Queen of Wands. Please clarify. Okay, now I have the Hierophant reversed, and that talks about having freedom, having your it talks about your personal beliefs, and it also talks about challenging the status quo. So, for you to have the courage and the confidence to make this new change, this for your, what do I talk about? Physical self-care, for you to, how you can, your physical self-care can help you reach your purpose, is you have to focus on making sure your mind is right, making sure you're in a positive place, making sure that you have faith and hope and determination to make these physical changes that you need to make to help you spring into your purpose. You need to be determined to release any addictions, whatever, we already talked about that, whatever your addictions are, you have to be determined to let those go. You can't let anything stop you. And you might do things in a different way. The way that you do things, it might not, other people might not like it, you know? It might be in a way that's different to other people. Like, for instance, I use yoga. Everybody doesn't believe that it's okay to do yoga. So you might want to change your physical appearance, and you might want to do that through using yoga, but maybe other people in your house don't believe that you should do that. You have to, the way that you change your physical appearance, you have to be determined, and you have to, it has to match up with your beliefs. It has to be in alignment with your beliefs, even if it's not in alignment with other people's beliefs. I don't want to get confusing, so I'm gonna leave that right there. I hope that made sense. But you just basically have to do what you gotta do. And you have to do it and be determined when you do it. Whatever it is that you gotta do, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. I can see that it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be dang near, feel like it's dang near impossible, but it's not. But it's gonna feel like it. It's gonna be hard. And I can see that. But in the end, you're gonna be Okay, the Queen of Wands, which is at the top of, well, what do we need to do for to use our physical health, our physical self-care to help us bring into our purpose. Okay, the Queen of Wands, they call her the bad bee. You know, she's confident. She knows who she is. You know, you can't tell her nothing. None of that. Okay. You can't shake her. You can't tell her that she's somebody that she's not. Get like that is through a lot of overcoming a lot of challenges. You get like that through being persistent and determined to fight for yourself. Okay, so I hope I didn't talk too much. I'm gonna move on to the next thing. Okay, let's see. The next one, the next topic we're gonna go into is what do I need to do to be more focused, disciplined, and determined to live in my purpose. That flowed right. That flowed right with that. And like I said, Ogun was disciplined and he was determined. He's very serious, very focused. Um, He knows what he's here to do, and he does that. He knows who he is. Okay? So, what do we need to do to be more determined and focused? Sorry about all the dogs. Okay, the card I got for what do I need to do to be more determined and disciplined and all that good stuff and focused was actually the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands represents the same thing, just being determined, making sure you're protecting yourself, and having endurance, seeing things through to the end. That's what the Seven of Wands is all about. So a lot of times when we're looking for some type of secret to have more energy, or some type of secret to help us be motivated and get things done in some quick way, where it's really not like a shortcut. If you want to be disciplined and determined, you have to be disciplined and determined. There's no way around it. There's no shortcuts. You just have to do it, even though it's going to be hard. And that's what I keep saying. Just so when you set these plans for these new changes, and you start getting into things and you realize it's going to be hard, don't stop. You realize it's getting hard. I mean, when you realize it's a struggle, it's a challenge. This is this is a lot for me, or whatever. That's not God. That's trying to tell you to stop. It's not a sign trying to tell you to stop. What it's saying is keep going no matter what. Keep going no matter what. Okay. So we're going to clarify that. Please clarify. Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands. And about that, the negative side of Mars is that, like I told you, he rules the root chakra, and the root chakra is, it represents sex. You know, the eighth house, which is ruled by Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars, represents sex. So if you take sex and then you make it negative, then that's where sexual abuse comes from. Okay? I'm going somewhere with this. I don't know if I could even say what I just said, but hopefully I can. So that's where that abuse comes from. From a root chakra that is unbalanced, that's doing too much. Okay? So that's the negative side of Mars. And in one of the stories, what happened is Yemaya, Ogun's mother, she was, I don't know if I can say this word, but she was violated by Ogun. And what happened was she was distraught, and his father in this story, Obatala, cursed him and made him work constantly. He made him to where all he could do was work. It's all he could do. That was his curse. And I know that went negative, but I'm just telling you one of the reasons why Ogun represents endurance. Because he had to work nonstop no matter what. He had to. But eventually his father forgave him and the curse was lifted. But he still represents endurance and determination. Okay, so what am I doing? Clarifying. Okay, the card that I got for clarifying the Seven of Wands is the Fool card. On this time, instead of at first when it was upright, this time it's reversed. And when it's reversed, it talks about risk taking, being reckless, not paying attention to what you're doing, not paying attention to your surroundings, and also holding back. So when you work hard, while you're working, you want to make sure that you're focused and your energy isn't scattered. You want to make sure that you don't let anything distract you. Don't be reckless with your goals. Don't be reckless with your purpose. Don't be reckless with your life. We I hear Eminem, you only got one shot, do not miss your chance to blow. But that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm guessing that's clairaudience. So I feel led to tell everybody that Mars right now is in the sign Gemini in Vedic Astrology. So wherever Gemini is in your chart, you want to pay attention to that, because it might cause you to be reckless and kind of sabotage your own goals. So you want to make sure, see where Gemini is, because those are two, a planet and a sign that moves really fast. So you can get things done with this, but you also don't want to be reckless and moving too fast, and you want to kind of hone that energy. You don't want it to just be willy-nilly. You don't want it to be all crazy and unfocused energy, basically. So pay attention to where your Gemini is in your chart and make sure you are slowing down and focusing your energy in that area, whatever house that is in. Okay. Okay, we're gonna keep clarifying. Please clarify. Seven of Wands. Please clarify. Please clarify. Seven of Wands. Please clarify. Okay, I got the Hermit card. And so this is saying that you're going to need to spend some time with yourself and search your soul, search yourself for the things that could stop you from walking in your purpose. And we're going to talk more about this on the second part of this life coaching series. Um, we're going to talk more about that then. But right now, we just want to focus on being aware, just being aware of what could stop you from walking in your purpose. It could be being reckless. Being reckless could be one of the main things that could stop you. Because when that Mars energy gets going, it goes and goes and goes and goes. You don't want it to just go too far. So it could be that. It could be other things. What could be stopping you from? And you got to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. There's no way, when it comes to soul searching and things like that, there's no way you can be cute and just scratch the surface and have transformation at the same time. You have to be honest with yourself, no matter how ugly the truth is. What can stop you from being determined and disciplined and being focused? The only way you can, the only way you can at least try to stop that is to be honest with yourself. The only way you can get a hold of that is to be honest with yourself. There's no other way. No other way around it. Okay? So you got to be honest with yourself. I'm going to use one more card to clarify this Seven of Wands. This is going way longer than I thought it would. But I got to get it all out. Okay, you have so many cards that represent being independent and being alone. This must really be a desire of yours, whoever I'm talking to. So, what I have for the last card to clarify is the Three of Coins reversed. And that talks about doing things alone. It talks about misalignment. And so you want to make sure to be determined you you might have to do this alone. The challenges for you might be other people, and making sure that you know what you're doing for you and not letting anyone distract you from that. You really want to be independent, be alone, and just take care of you right now. And get back in alignment with who you are. Okay, so that's what I feel that means. I have two more topics. I wonder if I should do them. Okay, so the next one is, how can I boost my energy so I can walk in my purpose? Okay, like I said before, that Ogun is represents that life force energy that forces things to grow. The life force energy, that divine energy that makes things, puts things into action and makes things move that you can't even see. You know, like I said, like the trees growing, like the grass growing, like the fruits and vegetables growing. You, what is making them grow? You do not see that life force energy, but you know it's there because you can see the results. Okay? And that energy is what makes us go, what makes us move. The life energy in us, the energy that causes our blood to circulate and our heart to pump, that energy that makes our hair and nails grow, that energy, the life energy that makes us grow from a baby to a toddler to a teenager to an adult. We can't see that energy, but we see the results of it. So that energy that makes us go and move and cause things to happen, we we need that so we can walk in our purpose, so we can effectively do what we need to do to walk in our purpose. If Mars represents energy, and so if you are a person who has low energy, if you are a person who has, it also represents the blood. So if you're a person who has issues with your blood, then you might want to look at your chart and see if your Mars is afflicted in any way, if your Mars is damaged in any way, because that can answer a lot of questions for you. I have a lot of issues with lack of energy, and I have K2 Oshamare with Ogun Mars in my first house. And so that makes me have a lot of issues with my blood and cause me to have low energy. But understanding what it means and what I can do to help that through my birth chart has really helped me. Has really helped me with that. So how can we boost our energy so we can walk in our purpose? I think I just used one card for this so we can get to the end, because this might be taking too long. Well, I hope everybody's getting something from it. What do we need to boost our energy so we can walk in our purpose? Okay, now I knew I was only going to need one card. This is very self explanatory. What do you need to boost your energy? I got the Six of Coins reversed, and that is about self care. Boom! Yeah, this is Self Care Sanctuary, and I'm telling you that in order to boost your energy so you can walk in your purpose, you have to take care of yourself. And that's true. There's no way around that. You can't go and go and go and go. Try to walk in your purpose, try to get things done, and then not take care of yourself. Especially, well, I don't want to say especially, but I know for me, if I'm not taking care of myself, my readings are not going to be effective. A whole lot of things aren't going to be effective, but I'm just saying that one thing. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't do much. You have to recharge your battery. You have to always be recharging your battery, putting things into you. So that's how you boost your energy, okay? Now, the last question we're going to ask is, what is the advice? Now, when I pray before every reading, I talk to God and I ask to help me connect with my angels, my spirit guides, my spirit animals, and my ancestors. So when I'm asking questions, that's who I'm asking questions to. Okay? I enlist the help of everyone. I'm not asking myself. Okay, so what do we need to do? What is the advice? What is the advice for us to spring into our purpose? This is the last question, okay? What is the advice for us to spring into our purpose? What is the advice for us to spring into our purpose? Okay, so the last card I have is the Eight of Wands, and I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. The Eight of Wands represents fast-paced movement, a lot of quick action. So I feel like this is saying just move forward, start creating that change, and do it now. And I feel like that's a great ending to this reading. That's just go ahead. Like I said, there's no other way to be determined than to just be determined. You have to have the gumption. You have to have the courage. You have to stir up that energy, that life force energy up in yourself to just get it going and get it moving. Even if it's just to find out exactly what your purpose is and who you are, start moving. Even if you don't know what actions to take, start finding out what actions to take. Get it moving. Okay, I'll talk to you next time when we will dig deeper into what could stop you from walking in your purpose. All right, take care of yourself.